I think we do need to delineate between lifestyle people that are just wanting to make a healthy change and competitors.
I work with a lot of competitors as well. And the diet flexibility is something that I've worked into their off season, because actually the competitors are the worst people that I've seen with this. So what ended up happening was that, again, a lifestyle person is a lot different. So when I'm saying somebody's tracking macros all the time and then they can't eat out, I'm talking about the competitors, right? Because most lifestyle people are going to do that because they're just going to do that. The competitors are actually who have a lot of these neuroses and a lot of these people who have that personality type, right? So what I started to realize was that, if I'm coaching people, they're doing their prep and then afterwards, and it's like, just hit your numbers. First of all, after a diet, your body is in that's a whole different conversation, but in such a physiological place that is literally starving, right? And so your hormones are off, your hunger signals are off. There's so many different things that are happening. And psychologically, things are very crazy too, right? So there's a biology and psychology working against you. But what I ended up realizing was that those were the people that really fell into this, and that if they did not have diet flexibility, they were the ones who, like, if I can't tell a competitor in the off season, go have 3 untracked meals this week, and they blow it out of the water, they're not prepping.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm not prepping them. Like, you are not in the place. If you cannot do that, we are not in a place to diet again. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I've worked. The competitors give me the biggest pushback on this, actually. And it's something that I've had to work really, really hard on refining how I say things. And it's still a work in progress. And there's some people who they pick it up. I had a client recently who, had a prep. I didn't prep her, but she, had to get down to normal prep level kind of stuff. Came to me, we reversed. And within 12 weeks, her calories were up to a high level. She was having multiple untracked meals a week. She felt great. Life was good. Okay. Wow. That is a textbook awesome situation, right? Mm-hmm. That is 95% of clients don't do that, right? It is months and months and months of trial by fire. Hey, try this. It didn't work. Okay, we're going to try something else this week. We're going to do this. We're going to set up these parameters. I'm going to give you more flexibility here. Less flexibility here. And that's where the coaching really, really comes in. But it is actually with the competitors that I work the hardest to add in that flexibility, simply because they are so rigid in nature. And we are so rigid for so much of our life that the blowback is typically the hardest I find with the competitors. And it's not to say, again, when I say diet flexibility, that doesn't mean, just fucking eat whatever you want all the time. That is not the situation either. You know what I mean? It's more of like, hey, we're going to have a few days. The goal for me is to work up people to where they have several days that are tracked, and then they have several meals and or days of the week that are completely untracked, but that does not look vastly different from the other days. And that really is the goal, is to like, you can eat, and you're literally just eating the same foods. You're just not putting them into MyFitnessPal. And you actually learn how to listen to when it's time to eat, and you're still eating the same stuff. You know what I mean? That's the goal. And if a big social situation comes up and it's like, hey, it's my birthday and we're going to get burger and fries or whatever and beer, great. And then other times it's like, hey, I had a salad for my untracked meal because that's what looked good. That's like the ultimate success to me. Mm-hmm. But that takes a long time, obviously, to get there. But
it doesn't get there overnight.
And that's teaching them how to live after the fact, because nobody's going to be coached forever. And you don't want to blow up like a balloon because all of a sudden my coach isn't around and I have no idea how to go and eat like a normal person. Yes. And I can't be a human being anymore because I'm not on that.
Exactly. And that's, I think we've all probably been there. There's all been, I did that for years. Basically you prep and then you eat until you get too fat and then you diet again. Hey, that's what a lot of us have done, you know what I mean? Or at least me, you know, so it's finally taken me to a point where it's like, man, like I can't do this for myself, and I really can't do this for my clients because I'm doing it's a really poor job of I'm not teaching them how to eat. And what we thought flexible dieting was teaching people how to eat, it sometimes does, but it sometimes doesn't, you know, and I think it's going to depend on the client. It's going to depend on the coaching situation, so many factors. But I think that having people understand that they can eat and still hit their goals by using a combination of tracking and just habits is really the best thing.
Yeah, sounds great. Hey, we're going to wrap it up here for this one. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
So you can, teamlocofit.com, like you said earlier, is like the best place to reach us. There's a contact part there. There's tons of different articles and podcasts on there as well. Our application for coaching is on there too. And then our social media is at Team Loco Fit, or mine is at Laurin Conlin, LAURINCONLAN. YouTube is the same as well, and that's kind of where you can find all the stuff.
Last thing, do you have any projects you're working on right now? Anything that's going to come out in the near future?
So right now it's just kind of, I'm focusing on, just building the team. I do have 3 coaches who work for me too. So constantly mentoring them and teaching them. They're all amazing. So it's not really even like it's, hard to do, but it's just something that I really try and take pride in as far as like mentoring them and being there. Traveling, have a few speaking things lined up already for the year, and then just continuing to learn new things is always, I think that it's really hard to do that when you're so busy. You're just like, oh, I'm just kind of rolling and things are going, but I really had to take a step back and say, no, like I can put out a lot of information, but I also need to learn new things too. So kind of finding that balance between learning more as well as putting a lot out. So really trying to invest, of course, in podcasts. I have, we have a Team Loco Fit Roundtable, so it's myself and the other coaches. We have a podcast, and like I was telling you beforehand, we're kind of revamping that as far as like trying to up the production quality. So we have that, and then Redefine Healthy Radio also is a podcast that I have with my colleague Paul Ravella. So that's we have that too, and yeah, just trying to put out stuff, but also learn new things and be, best coaches we can be.